Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Noodle Journey, where by special request for some gluten-free options from one of my friends, I've chosen to check out Lotus Foods' Forbidden Rice Ramen White Miso Soup. I grabbed this on a whim from my local Wegmans a while ago, knowing that I would definitely like to include all of you gluten-free folks in this channel at some point. I don't personally have celiac disease or digestive issues with gluten, and I imagine that it's pretty hard to break into the instant noodle game when everything you see has wheat flour in it, so I sympathize. So to make sure I include everyone, yep, I bought a pack of every single one of the rice ramen varieties that Lotus Foods makes, because I am that kind of noodler. I don't even know if any of these are good, I just knew that I had to try them all. For science. Anyway, at my local Wegmans, this small 2.8 ounce package was somewhat reasonably priced at $1.89, as were the other bagged flavors. I'm starting with this one because I've never had forbidden rice before, but for your records, the other varieties coming up someday are millet and brown rice ramen with red miso soup, buckwheat shiitake rice ramen with mushroom soup, wakame and brown rice ramen with vegetable soup, and purple potato rice ramen with turmeric curry soup. Interesting. Let me know in the comments which one of these should be the next gluten-free review in the queue. Lotus also sells cup noodle products with some other flavors, packs of standalone rice noodles, and even some 10-ounce bags for larger portions. But I don't have any of those at the moment. One step at a time here, my backlog is big enough. So back to this one in hand. Obviously I'm expecting a textural trade-off here. Rice noodles tend to be softer and gummier than their wheat counterparts, but I'm hoping the fact that these are made from forbidden rice, also called black rice or purple rice for obvious reasons, will give me an interesting flavor to offset any potential texture issues. Plus it's miso soup. Who doesn't love miso soup? So let's look at the package. Sodium is super low at 800 milligrams or 35% of your daily allowance. It's good for anyone watching their sodium intake, but for the rest of us, could be that this might need some flavor enhancing, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Ingredients are pretty simple, with just a basic miso powder mixed with some tamari, mushrooms, onions, carrots, scallions, and somewhat surprisingly parsley. Inside the package, all of that stuff is in a single powdered soup packet along with the noodles. The portion of noodles is, as expected, meager. I will still be hungry after this. Plan accordingly based on your own appetite if eating these. Oh, and yes, these are vegan. Can we just appreciate for a second, regardless of how this review goes, how cool these noodles look? Anyway, cooking time. We're going to boil 2 cups of water, then add the ramen and soup packet, and simmer gently for 4 minutes with the occasional stir. My apologies, my camera was off when I dropped everything in the pot, but thankfully there were no surprises here. These noodles took a while to separate from their block formation, so don't be surprised if that happens to you as well. And here we go, an aesthetically pleasing bowl of forbidden rice noodles. I'm not really smelling much, which doesn't bode well for the flavor, but let's see what happens. So, as expected from the ingredients, there is not one iota of spice in this. 0 out of 10 on spice. The gluten-free noodles are what everyone is here for, so let's talk about them next. In a surprising twist, these noodles are actually pretty good. They have a little earthiness flavor separate from the broth, which you may or may not like. I like it. And the texture is actually pretty good. They're chewy, they're not soft or gummy, which is sort of what I was expecting. The texture is very nice. The noodles would actually go very well as a base in another recipe, so I'm going to give the noodles a 6.5 out of 10. I would assume that if you like forbidden rice, you'd like these. However, the reason that I say these noodles would go well in something else is because this broth is absolute garbage. Terrible flavor. Yes, it needs salt or MSG, and the mushroom powder is the predominant flavor, but beyond that it's just incredibly bland. The miso flavor is not coming through at all. There's little pieces of vegetable in here, but they're basically an afterthought and aren't contributing to the flavor whatsoever. So overall, despite the noodles being way better than I expected, the broth brings the score down significantly, so this is a 2.5 out of 10 for me overall. So again, I'm obviously not the target demographic for this. I like rice noodles just fine, but they generally fall behind wheat noodles or even buckwheat soba noodles for me when I have a choice. If you need something gluten-free to fit your health needs, then these noodles are probably fine for you, but I can't recommend the broth. If you don't have gluten issues and you're just looking for something different to eat, then you should definitely not bother with these. Regardless of my feelings on this one, I'm going to get to those other Lotus Foods rice noodles in the near future, I promise, because everyone deserves to find the right noodles for them. Maybe the broth in those will fare a little better than the broth in this. If you have any gluten-free recommendations, please leave a comment below. And as always, please like and subscribe to continue on this noodle journey with me.